Hello again, and this is part 4 of What If Kamen Writer Kabuto Was in My Hero Academia, so let's start. Chapter 7 Hero Names. I don't own Kamen Writer Kabuto or My Hero Academia. After the sports festival, many have been talking about the quirkless student of UA. Many were wondering how a quirkless managed to even enter, much less compete in the festival, but others were amazed at him. Some quirkless had the dreams of becoming heroes thanks to him and wanted to know if he could help them. Shinji was now arriving at his school. It was raining outside, but he was able to get here without trouble thanks to midnight. He then goes to his class and then sees most of them were there. Momo looks at Shinji and said, "Good morning, Shinji." "Oh, good morning, Momo." Shinji said. "Say, Shinji, did you hear that people on the street were all talking to us?" Mina said. "Yes, I had a few that were interested to know about me." Shinji said. "Well, that must be because you're the first quirkless hero." Suyu said. "Still, it's like we're celebrities." Denki said. "Well, don't get a big head from that." Shinji said, making some of them chuckle. Shinji then sees Izuku come in and he said, "Good morning, Izuku." Izuku looks at him and said, "Oh, good morning, Shinji. So how was your day off?" Shinji asked. "Oh, it was fine." Izuku said while sitting on his chair, "What about you?" "It was normal. I spent some time around the city while dealing with a few kids." Shinji said. "Really? Why?" Momo asked. "Maybe they wanted to know about the super manly hero." Kirishima said. "Well, yeah, some of them were quirkless and wanted to know more about me." Shinji said with a smile, but then he got a serious expression, but the others were just bullies that were picking on them. "Oh, well, that's sad to hear. Why do they have to be so mean?" Mina said. Shinji looks at Bakugo, who was sitting at his desk with a frown. Looks like he was still hurt from what he did to him. Shinji did that to teach him a lesson since he knew Bakugo's type. He was a bully that liked to make fun of quirkless. Even back in his world he had to deal with bullies that wanted to feel better by beating him up, but they got the opposite. It was Shinji that beat them up and broke their arms. The door opened, making them go to their seats, and Aizawa came in mourning. "Good morning, Mr. Aizawa," the class said. "Mr. Aizawa, you don't have bandages anymore. That's good news." Suyu said. The old lady went a little overboard in her treatment. "Anyway, we a big class today on hero informatics," Aizawa said, making some of them worried. "You need code names. Time to pick your hero identities." "This is going to be totally awesome," most of them said, and then Aizawa glares at them, making them get back to their seats. This is related to the pro hero draft picks I mentioned the last time we were in class together, until their second and third year actually, but your class is different. In fact, by extending offers to first years like you pros are essentially investing on your potential. Any offers can be rescinded if their interest in you dies down before graduation. Mineta then hits his desk. "Stupid selfish adults. So what you're saying is that we still have to prove ourselves after we gotten recruited?" Toru said. "Correct. Now here are the totals of you who got offers." Aizawa then pressed a button on a remote and it showed the offers, with Todoroki and Shinji being almost tied, with Shinji having 3 more than Tenya being third, and so on, with Bakugo being in the middle. In past years it's been more spread out, but there's a pretty big gap this time. Some got sad seeing the scores, especially the ones that didn't have any. Todoroki and Narakami are almost tied. Jiro said. "Yeah, I get Shinji being first since he won, but why is he almost the same as Todoroki?" Kirishima said. "Maybe it's because some think that quirkless shouldn't be heroes, so that might be the reason." Siro said. "But still, good job, Shinji," Mina said to him. "Thank you." Shinji said, "A wise man said, as long as I am wanted, destiny will always be at my side." That's an interesting phrase, Momo said. Shinji noticed that Izuku didn't get none, which made him be sad for him. He shouldn't have tried to make Shoto use his other quirk. That came to bite him in the end. Despite these results, you'll all be interning with pros, go it, even those of you that didn't get any offers, Aizawa said. "Oh, so we're all interning?" Izuku said, surprised. "Yes, you all have experienced combat with real villains during the attack on the USJ, but it will still be helpful seeing pros work, a close and personal in the field firsthand," Aizawa said. Shinji got interested seeing how these pros work. He has a name picked for himself already and it was the one passed on to him. These hero names will most likely be temporary, but take them seriously or... Eyes was said. Then the door opened, you'll have hell to pay later. Then Midnight came in making some of the guys blush while Shinji sighed seeing her. What you picked today could be your codename for life. You better be careful or you'll be stuck with something utterly indecent. It's Midnight, the class said. Yeah, it's her. Shinji said to himself. Yeah, she's got a good point. Midnight is going to have final approval over your names. It's not my forte. Aizawa said, and he takes out his sleeping bag. The name you give yourself is important. It helps reinforce your image and show what kind of hero you want to be in the future. A codename tells people exactly what you represent. Take All Might for example. Aizawa then goes to sleep while they pass around whiteboards around in black pens. Shinji got his and put the name he wanted. He then puts it down and waited. Mina looks at him and said, Hey Shinji, you got yours done? Yes. Shinji said. Wow, you must have gotten that one a long time ago. Mina said. You can say that. Shinji said. After some time Midnight asked, Now students, who among you is ready to share? That made most of them nervous since they didn't expect to show them to the class. Shinji then saw Yuga go up and showed his name. Hold your breath, the Shining Hero. I cannot stop twinkling. Shinji then facepalms thinking that's a stupid name. It would be better this way. Midnight then corrects the name. Take out the I and shorten cannot to can't. It's stunning, mademoiselle. Yuga said. Let me go next. Mina said going to the front. My codename Alien Queen. Hold on, like that horrible monster with the acidic blood? I don't think so. Midnight said. Dang it. Mina said grumpy about it. Think before showing it. Shinji said to her. Tsuyu then lifts her hand. Ribbit, I think I got one. Can I go next? Come on up. Midnight said. Tsuyu then goes in front of the class and said, I got this name in mind since grad school, rainy season hero, Froppy, that made Shinji chuckle since that was too cute. How cute. Midnight said. Then the entire class started to cheer. Froppy, Froppy, Froppy. Then Kirishima went next. The study hero, Red Riot. Red Riot interesting, you're paying homage to the hero Crimson Riot. Midnight said. That's right, he may be kind of old school but someday I want to be just like him. Kirishima said. If you bearing the name of another then you have much more to live up to. Midnight said. I accept the challenge. Kirishima said. Jiro then goes next, the hearing hero, earphone jack. Now that's a good one. Midnight said. Tentacle hero, tentacle. Mizo said. Oh, I like it, a nice mix of tentacle and octopus. Midnight said. The taping hero, cellophane. Siro said. Oh, that's on the nose, good work. Midnight said. Martial arts hero, tailman. Ojiro said. No surprise with that one. Midnight said. I'm the sweets hero, Sugarman. Sato said. Perfect. Midnight said. Pinky. Nina said with a new name. Make those looks work for you, girl. Midnight said. Stun gun hero, Charge Bolt. Denki said. How exciting. Midnight said. The steel hero, Invisible Girl. Toru said and Shinji got reminded of a certain Marvel heroine. That really suits you. Midnight said, now come on, who's going to step up next? Everything hero, Creati. Momo said. Creative. Midnight said. Shoto. Shoto said. Just your name, is that it? Midnight said. Yes. Shoto said. Just Black Hero, Tsukuyumi. Fumikage said and that made Shinji remember a certain female writer of ZO. God of the Night. Midnight said. Fresh picked hero, Grape Juice. Mineta said. Very catchy. Midnight said. Koji was next, showing his name was Petting Hero, Anima. Yup, all about it. Midnight said. Bakugo was next. King Explosion, Murder. I'm gonna say that one is a little too violent. Midnight said. What do you mean? Bakugo got angry. Do you want to be seen as a crazy person? Shinji said. Shut up, Bug Boy. Bakugo said. Bug Boy, real creative. Shinji said. Hey, why don't you be Explosion Boy? Kirishima said. Or even Bomb Voyage. Shinji said. Hey, good one. Kirishima said to Shinji. Those are not my name. Bakugo said. My turn. Ochako said. Bakugo goes back to his seat and she goes in front. This is the name I thought of, Uravity. I just love that. Midnight said. All there is left is young Bakugo, who needs to rethink his Ida and Narukami. Oh yes, and Midoriya too. Midnight said. Shinji looks at Tenya, who was writing his name but then stopped. He then writes it a new one and shows it being his name. Your name too. Midnight said, alright. She then looks at Shinji. Narukami, want to try out? I'll go after Izuku. Shinji said. Alright, Midoriya, want to go now? Midnight asked him. Yes. Izuku said, and he goes to the front of the class. He then shows his name and it was Deka, surprising them. Really? Shinji said. Are you sure about that? Denki said. Yeah, that could be your name forever. Kirishima said. Yes, I used to hate it, but then something changed. Someone taught me it can have a different meaning, and that had a huge impact on how I felt, so now I really like it. Izuku said, stunning them. Deku, that has to be my code name. Very good. Midnight said, and Izuku goes back to his seat. Narukami, would you like to go now? Alright. Shinji then gets with the whiteboard and goes to the front of the class. My hero name is, he then shows it. Kamen Rider Kabuto. That's so good. Midnight said. Hey, that's the name of the form you used in the villain's invasion. Denki said. Yes, this is the name I prefer to be known the most, as it is the name I will use to inspire others, the one that walks the path of heaven. Shinji said with a pose, making most of them amazed. Then why don't you put the hero of the path of heaven, Kamen Rider Kabuto? Midnight said, adding the extra title. Isn't that a bit wordy? Shinji said. Good point. Midnight said. After that, Bakugo still was trying to call himself Murder but again got rejected. Aizawa was now awake and he said, now about your upcoming internships, they will last for 1 week. As for who you will be working with, those of you who are on the board will choose from among your offers. Everyone else will have a different list. You have a lot to think about. There are 40 agencies across the country who've agreed to take on interns from your class. Each agency has a different specialty that its heroes focus on. Keep that in mind. Imagine you were 13, you'd want to choose a place that focuses on rescuing people, not fighting villains, understand? Midnight said. Think carefully before you decide. Aizawa said. Yes, sir. The entire class said. Shinji then started to think who to pick. He was looking at a paper that had the names of the agency who those that wanted him. He needed to pick the right one since some may use his rider powers. At lunchtime, Mina asked, so guys, have you decided what pro agency you want to go for? MHA Lady is my top choice. Mineta said. What a surprise. Shinji said next to him with a smirk. I picked her too. What? Mineta said, shocked. That's good, keep him from doing anything perverted, Shinji. Tsuyu said. No fair, pick another one. Mineta said. Sorry, no can do. Shinji said. Say, Shinji, are you going to join an agency as a sidekick? Denki asked. No. Shini said, surprising some of them. In fact, I think I'll make my own. What? They all said. You want to build your own agency? Momo said. Yes, Shinji said. But that will take a long time and you would have to at least get a support hero. Mina said. Well, that part can be easy since of a certain someone. Shinji said with a sigh. Well, could it be Hatsum? Izuku asked. Yes, she actually liked the idea. Shinji said. That is a big dream you have, Shinji. Do you really want to do it? Momo asked. Yes, I do. You see, I'm going to make an agency where many of the quirkless can join. Those that have the dream of being a hero can go there and become one. I will give them the tools they need to do it. They just have the spirit to make it happen. Shinji said. His friend smiled at his determination. Even now he's still looking after the quirkless than himself. Say, Shinji, would you like to hang out after class? Mina asked, surprising them. Sure, why? Shinji asked. Oh, you know, since we're going to be apart, I decided why not spend some time now before that happens. Mina said. Alright, fair enough. Shinji said, making her smile. Momo, Jiro and Tsuyu got a bit jealous from that. They should have asked him a long time, but now they lost their chance to spend some time with their friend. No fair, you get to go with a hot girl. Mineta said. All girls are equally beautiful. Shinji said, making the girls happy. After that, Shinji went to give his paper to Aizawa, and when school ended he went with Mina to spend some time with her. They went around the city and had fun before he had to return back home. He now had to get ready since he would have to intern with him till lady soon, while also keeping Mineta from doing anything that was perverted, so he would have to look out for any of that. Chapter 8 MT Lady Meets a Writer. I don't own Kamen Rider Kabuto or My Hero Academia. Next day Shinji was at the agency of MT Lady with Mineta, but the moment they went there she hasn't been doing anything special. They were in her room with him, the lady resting on the couch eating chips and reading a magazine. Mineta was wearing cleaning gear while vacuuming the place, while Kabuto in his rider form was sitting on a chair. You know what's a useful skill? Knowing how to pass the time while you're waiting to be called out to rescue someone. Got that? MT Lady said. Sure. Mineta said while he grunts. So this is it, waiting until someone just calls to rescue the day. Kabuto said. Yeah, don't expect much from me. MT Lady said. A wise man said, people become stronger through adventures. Kabuto said with his pose, and she looks at him. She blinks and said, do you always have a quote ready? He does. Mineta said. MT Lady thinks about it and said, well, alright, fine. She then gets up. We'll go out while he stays to clean up. What? Mineta said. Fair enough. Kabuto said, and he follows her to the door. Wait, that's not fair for me. Mineta said, but they left him alone. Then MT Lady and Kabuto walk around the city, and she said, you know, I watched some of the matches you were in the festival. Oh really, so what did you think? Kabuto asked. Well, you were good. I was surprised that you were a quirkless. I thought you had a speed quirk when I heard you finished the race. MT Lady said. Well, not all quirkless are useless. My armor allows me to go faster than any speed quirk user. Kabuto said. I believe it. You beat some of the pros that are known for being fast in like a second. MT Lady said. Yes, I want to help others, so I'll be a great hero. Kabuto said. Really? Then what about money and fame? MT Lady said, since that's what most of the heroes want. I don't care. Kabuto said, stopping her, and she looks back at him. Wait, what? She got surprised. I don't care about the fame or fortune. I joined UA so that I could be the hero I want to be, so I will achieve my dream and become a hero and be the symbol for all the quirkless out there. Kabuto said. MT Lady got stunned. She didn't expect him to act like that. She expected him to at least want some fame. Even when she heard that speech when she was doing security work for the festival, she thought that he might have wanted fame and fortune. But to hear it from him, she could have was telling the truth and wanted to be a hero to help others. Well, that's a surprise. MT Lady said. Yes, I already attracted too much attention where I came from being a smart student and attracted the girls even. Kabuto said. Well, that's good to know you're a good student and I can see where the girls are going for. MT Lady said, since he is a handsome boy. So what can you tell me about you MT lady? Kabuto asked. What, you want me tell you about my life? MT lady said. Yes, if I'm going to learn from you it would be good to get to know you too. Kabuto said. Well, I didn't exactly have the best life before becoming a pro. You see, I don't want to be seen as something for those purrs. She grips her hands, so I tried to make it the fair way. I had the worst when I was a kid. I couldn't find a school because of my quirk, so I had to take classes and exams in back countries. Kabuto got surprised. He seen her work and picked her because it was a close place and maybe he could help her even, but to hear what she had to endure made him feel sorry for her. I try to make it big so that those that are like me have the help I didn't, but I sometimes just break stuff when I got full force. MT lady said. She then gets hugged by him from behind, surprising her. There was no one around so they didn't get seen. She didn't expect him to do that. She expected him to laugh or pity her, not hug her. Hey, it's okay. Everyone has their own moment where they feel like they're down. I once felt like that too. Kabuto said. She cries a bit but then smiles. She then touches his arm and said, thanks, now let's get to work. Right. Kabuto said, and they continued on. They went around the city and it seemed quiet. Many people wanted to talk to the lady since she is a pro hero. They even asked about the young hero with her and she said he was her intern. Though THR suit he wore was really cool and the kids even took pictures with him. Despite being a student and only really known for the festival, many kids still liked the way he looks. Well, you're getting popular. MT lady said. Well, kids do like seeing a cool looking hero. They just like the way my suit looks. Kabuto said. Well, that is a good start, since the first thing being a hero is looking good and you got that part done. They even called you Bugman. MT lady said with a chuckle. Oh haha, they thought I had some bug quirk. Did people not see the sports festival? Kabuto said. Well, some looks like missed it, since the seats were filled and not everyone can go there. MT lady said, plus isn't like the city can stop work so no TVs to some. Okay, well if you say so MT lady. Kabuto said. You. MT lady said. What? Kabuto said. My name is Yu Takayama. She then looks at him with a big smile, so you can call me that when we're alone. Well okay, you. Kabuto said. Hey, they then looked to the right to see me going up to them. I was trying to find you hubby. MT lady's eyes twitched and she said, a hubby? May, what are you doing here? Kabuto said. Oh, you see, I finished my first shift of my internship, so I came out and saw you here, so I just had to see you. May said, going next to him with a big smile. Okay, you normally go to work on your devices. Kabuto said. Oh, but I came to give you the good news that our babies are coming along just fine. May said. Oh, so the project is going along just fine. Kabuto said. What project? MT lady said. Oh, you see, we're trying to find a way to help the quirkless be on par with the quirk users too. Kabuto said, making her blink. Really, with what? One of your suits. MT lady asked. Not exactly, something that will help a lot. I need to help them as well. Kabuto said. MT lady remembers what he said and then remembered her time before. They were similar with them trying to help others have dreams. Say, I saw many of those suits in the festival. I get that this one is the one you want to be known as, but do every suit you use just for you? MT lady asked. Well, except one. Kabuto said, and he then puts his hand in the air. Then they saw a ladybug Zector land on his hands. This is the Lady Zector and it's one made for a woman. May looks at it with excitement and said, so this one can only be used by a girl. Yes, it's one of the reasons I can't use it, so it will have to find someone it can trust. Kabuto said. Oh, so looks like you might have a partner. MT lady said. Then Lady Zector then looks at May and flies around her. Don't tell me. Kabuto said, surprised. May looks at it and it then goes to her arm. It then flies around it and make a brace, making her smile. It picked her. MT lady said. Oh, thank you. May then hugs the Lady Zector. We're going to be so happy together. Okay, but don't take her apart. Kabuto said. Oh, don't worry, I won't, but I'll make some babies to help out with her, Mei said with her usual look. I can't wait to test her out. Well, we can't exactly do this here, Kabuto said. Well, there is a basement that I used to test out employees' quirks, but how much time do you have before you go back? MT lady asked. Oh, a few hours, but with this baby I'll get there in seconds, Mei said. Okay, let's go, Kabuto said, and they went back. They were now back in the building at the basement that was a big empty room with white walls and a black floor. Mei and Kabuto go to one side each while MT lady looked from the sidelines. Now let's do this. Mei then grabs her partner and attaches to the brace Henshin. Henshin! Then she transformed into Kamen Rider Lady from the stage show. Change Ladybug. Presenting Kamen Rider Lady. Lady said. Okay, let's go. Kabuto then taps the belt along with Lady, clock up. Clock up! They then went into clock up attacking each other in high speed. They traded punches and Lady jumps over him landing on the back. This is so much fun, Lady said. Kabuto then goes after and she then starts to run around the place with him following her. She then jumps over to give him a kick, but Kabuto takes out the kunai gun and shoots her in mid-air, making her fall to the ground. Clock over. MT lady then saw them and got surprised to see Kabuto with the gun. Hey, you didn't tell me you had that, Lady said. The kunai gun is a versatile weapon. It can also be an axe and a kunai. He then shows the kunai mode. Wow, that's so cool. I wonder if I can make my own, Lady said, getting up. Look at that, you have your own weapons to fight off the villains, MT lady said. Yes, but I won't kill anyone that's a human beings, Kabuto said. Oh, like those Nomu type of monsters, MT lady said, since she heard about it from the school. Yes, those things aren't human beings, they were just mindless monsters, Kabuto said. Yeah, I can see where you're going, MT lady said. Well, I should really use my time to make some new babies to help me, but now I need to go, so call me when you need me, Lady said, and she then presses clock up. Clock up! Then she was gone. Well, she's an interesting one, MT lady said. Yeah, but let's go back on the streets, Kabuto said, and she nodded. While they went back to the city, Mineta was still cleaning the place by washing the windows. Darn you, Shinji, you get to spend the day with her while I'm here doing chores, Mineta said. Mei was back in her workshop working a few things, and she was looking at the plans that Shinji gave her. This will be the most special baby we will make, Mei said while Lady was at her shoulders. Then behind her on a table was the helmet of a ZEC trooper. Chapter 9 Hero Killer. I don't own Kamen Rider Kabuto or My Hero Academia. Kabuto was still with MT lady doing his internship with her, and he actually had fun. She was seen as lazy to him, but the more he got to know her, she does have that heart of being a hero, since she wants others that are like her have better future. Kabuto and MT lady were walking together around the city doing another patrol. Well, looks like another quiet day, MT lady said. Yes, only thing that happened were just a couple of thugs, Kabuto said. But that's just how it works, MT lady said. Kabuto nodded, and then he saw a green stone on the floor next to a trash can. He picks it up and looks at it. Hey Shinji, are you coming? MT lady called out to him. Oh, coming. Kabuto runs to catch up to her. They spent most of the time alone, and then night starts to fall. Well, looks like it's time to go, MT lady said. Well, it's good that the city is safe, Kabuto said, and they heard an explosion on the other side of the city. Wait, that came from the train tracks, MT lady said. Yes, and I think I know where it might come. It's near where a friend of mine is interning, Kabuto said. Can we even get there in time? MT lady said. With my speed it will be easy, Kabuto said. Well then. MT lady then holds HM from behind. Go as fast as you. She then puts her legs around him. What am I, a horse? Kabuto then activated clock up, Clock up! They then vanished. At Hosa City it was being attacked by two Nomas, one with wings flying around, another came in until Lady hits him away. Good thing we came. MT Lady said with Kabuto next to her. I don't normally come here. Well, it's good that you are, since you can save more lives. Kabuto said, making her happy. Then two came and she grew bigger to catch them and she throws them away. Kabuto jumps to her shoulders and looks around. There are many flyers. He sees many different Nomas flying. I could change to a form that can stop many of the ground ones, but then the stone he had glowed. Hey, what's that? She asked, looking at it. Kabuto stares at it and saw it calling out, something that can help. He then throws it to the sky, making the Nomas look, come Hama the conquering bow. Then it shot a green light and from it came Battle Wasp Hama with his bow ready. What the? MT Lady got surprised. Get him! Kabuto said, and Hama shoots at the Nomas. Tamura and Kurojairi were watching the attack and then they saw Hama attacking the Nomas with each arrow, making them explode. What the hell is that freak? Tamura was scratching his neck. We brought more in case that Bud came and now another big one comes. It seems this creature was called by another. Whoever it is must be powerful to fight against the Nomas. Kurojairi said. So what now? Tamura asked. We go and report this, he must know. Kurojairi said. Fine. Tamura grunted and he teleported them away. While Hama was attacking, Kabuto jumps off. I'll take care of the ones below. Alright, but don't be caught. MT Lady said. Kabuto summons the Sassword Yiver and cancels his form. Stand by. Sassword Zector jumps towards him and he attaches to the sword Henshin. Henshin! He then transforms into Kamen Rider Sassword masked form and he lands on the ground. Three Nomas charge at him and he slashes at them while blocking one with the sword. He then presses the tail, cast off. Cast off. His armor sheds, hitting the Nomas. Change Scorpion. He then goes to his rider form and goes to the other side to see the Nomas together. He got ready and said rider slash, then he pulls the tail up and down. Rider slash. He then goes into a stance while covering the sword with poison. Clock up. Clock up. He then runs at them, slashing each one of the Nomas, and he was on the other side. Clock over. Then the Nomas exploded. Sassword rests for a bit and then he heard a sound that sounded familiar. Tenya, Izuku. He looks at MT Lady. I found my friends, he then runs off. Hey, wait. She goes after him in her normal size. He runs as fast as he could and then arrives at an alley with Izuku and Tenya facing against the hero killer Stain. He remembers him from MT Lady saying that he's a villain that goes after pro heroes and injures them or even kills them. That made Sawsword angry seeing him. He then runs forward and goes in the middle of both sides, surprising them. Shinji. Izuku said. Why is he here? Tenya said. MT Lady came to help the city. Sassword looks at them and he turns to Stain. So you're the famous hero killer? Yes. Stain looks at Kabuto. I know you too. I heard that you're the kid that's a quirkless that joined UA. Yeah, that's me. Sawsword said. I heard the speech you did. You understand the views of these so-called heroes. They're false champions that only care about money and fame. A hero is not like that. We're not different. In fact, I can see that you're a true hero. One that doesn't care about fame and fortune like the kid over there. Stain looks at Izuku. We're not that different. Sassword thinks about what he said. Yes, I agree that the heroes of now have changed from what a true hero is. That surprises his friends. But you forgot one important detail in your plan. What? Stain got confused. The people that you harm have families. That made them stunned. I have seen many of the heroes you attacked and the grief you caused to their families. They were waiting for them and to stay safe. The ones that you killed made their children sad that their father can't be there for them. Brothers, sisters, mothers and many more cried over the loss of their loved ones, and it was all your fault. Sassword points his sword at him, making Stain angry a bit. You call yourself as some punisher of the wicked, but you only caused more grief, so it's time that you faced your sins. Stain charged at him with his swords only for Sassword to spit a liquid at him, stunning Stain. What did you do? He felt his body stop moving. A paralysis liquid, that surprised them. It allows me to stop you without killing anyone. It's an upgrade to this form. He puts his sword on his shoulder. You won't kill me, Stain said. I never wanted that and I don't need to hurt you, Sassword said, confusing him. Then he felt a presence behind him and turns around to see Hama pointing an arrow at him. Izuku and Tenya got shocked and Hama fired, sending Stain flying away to the other side, and he crashed to a building. Hama looks at Sassword and he said, good job. Hama nodded and turns back to the stone, making Sassword grab it. Shinji, he looks at Izuku, what was that? That was a friend that I made when I found this. He showed them the stone. Where it came from I don't know, but he helped me. But where did it come from? Was it some kind of evolved species of insects? Was it someone's quirk? But then Izuku stopped with a chop over his head. Okay, stop right there. Sassword then looks at Tenya, who got up. Then he punched him. You idiot, why are you trying to kill yourself? I had to do it for my brother, Tenya said. Fool, do you think your brother would have wanted this? Imagine what the rest of your family would have thought if they found out that you were killed. Sassword said, making him look down. If Izuku and me weren't here, some bad would have happened. Shinji, Izuku said. You did what you could, Izuku. You saved Tenya, Sassword said. Shinji, they then saw MHA walk in. You found them? Yes, he nodded. She then looks back to see Stain knocked out. Don't tell you fought him. That's something you shouldn't have done. They then saw Endeavor on the other side. You used your quirks without a license and could face dire punishment for your future as heroes. So what, if I didn't do anything, my friends would have gotten hurt, Sassword said, since he still didn't like him. They then saw a bunch of news reporters and pointless some on the side with lights. Now the press is here and would want to know. In order to save you from punishment, a pro must take the spotlight. He then goes forward, so I'll go and tell them I did it. MHA stares at him with a frown, but then Sassword goes behind her and kicks her forward, making her stumble to the other side, making everyone look at her. Oh hi. It's MHA, said a Sibylline, and they put their cameras in front of her. MHA, was it you that stopped the hero killer? A reporter asked. Well, she peeks behind her and saw Sassword give her a thumbs up, making her smile. Yes, I did it. What did you do? Endeavor got angry. You said a hero needed to take the fame, so I let her take it. I hate you, Endeavor. Sassword looks at him with a glare, with Izuku and Tenya stunned seeing him standing up to him. I don't care what you think, you only care about fame, and what you did in the past is something I will never forgive you. And the lady showed more of being a hero than you, so I rather have her take the fame instead. Endeavor grunted and saw her talking with the reporters and police while holding Stain up with a smile. He couldn't do anything, so he walked away to the other side. Shinji, you went against Endeavor, the number 2 hero, Izuku said. He doesn't deserve to be called a hero, MHA has more of that than him. Sassword watches her and she even gives him a smile that said thank you, now we better go. He then takes them away to avoid bait caught. Later, after Stain was taken away, MHA was happy. She didn't expect Shinji to just push her to the front, but she didn't mind. After that, he was given a ride home. Well, here we are, Shinji said, getting out of her car. Shinji, thank you so much, MHA said. Hey, no problem, Shinji said, and she then kissed him on the cheek, surprising him. That's for being so nice to me. She winks and then drives off by. He was still surprised, but then he went inside. He saw that the place was empty. Midnight must be out. Shinji goes to check the mail and found a letter there. He goes to his room and opens it, then he reads it. Once you read and circled your choice, please place it on the second drawer of your desk. The artificial spirit will arrive to retrieve it. He got curious and then he picked wind up. Let's see what happens. He just saw a big summon, so he puts the stone on his desk and puts the letter on the drawer. Shinji waits sitting down on his bed with his eyes closed. After some time he opens them and saw a case on the floor with a rose on top. Interesting. He then goes to check it and opens it. He then got surprised to see a doll inside with long white hair, a dress, and a rose on her right eye with her left one closed. A doll? He then picks her up and puts her on his lap. He touches her cheek and felt it. It's soft. Who could have made her? He then saw a key on the case. He picks it up and turns her around. Let's see. He then winds her up and waits for something. Then her eye starts to move and her body moves around with a glow coming out of her. Then it stopped and she opened her eye. She looks at Shinji and smiles. Hello, my medium. Shinji raises an eyebrow and asks, what's your name? My name is Kirakishu and yours? Kirakishu said. Shinji Narakami, he said. Shinji. She stares at him with a big smile. I'm happy. She then raises her hand with the ring, kiss it so we may become connected. He stares at her, he then grabs her hand and kisses her ring, then another ring came to his hand, so this is what it does? She nodded, so why were you sent to me? Father's friend told me that the writers needed us. Kirakishu said, surprising him. I picked you to be my medium. I see. He then puts her down, making her sit next to him. Looks like I have a new friend on my adventure being a hero. Kirakishu looks at the stone and asks, what's that? She points at it. He then gets the stone and shows it. This is a stone that holds a creature inside of it. She then holds it. I can feel it's very strong. It will help you as long as you live. Kirakishu said. I see. Well, do you need something since it's pretty late? Shinji asked. Some tea. Kirakishu said. Alright, he goes to make some and she stays waiting for him. Kirakishu smiled since now she has a real medium. Before she didn't have a body, but now thanks to father's friend she was granted one for herself and she has a medium who will be by her side. Chapter 10 Rescue Race. I don't own Kamen Rider Kabuto or My Hero Academia. In the morning Shinji was getting ready to go school. His internship was over, now it's time for everyone to go back to school. He looks at Kirakishu who was sitting on his bed. Are you going to be fine here? Shinji asked. I'll manage, she smiles. I have many skills to keep me hidden. Okay, he pats her head, stay safe, he then goes away. I will. Kirakishu said. Shinji was walking down the streets, then he heard a voice, hey Shinji, he then saw Kyoka. Oh hey. Shinji said and they walked together. So how was your internship, she asked. It was fine, how about you? Shinji asked. Well, I got to face some villains. Kyoka said. Really? Shinji got interested. Also, I heard when the lady stopped staying, were you okay? Kyoka said. Yes, I was able to fight off some of those monsters that tried to attack. Shinji said. Oh yeah, it was like that Nomo guy, still I must have been easy since you beat the last guy. Kyoka said. Yeah. Shinji said, it will be good seeing the others again. Yeah. Kyoka said. Later they arrived at the school and were in their class. They then saw Kirishima and Cyril laughing at Bakoto who has his hairstyle differently. Shinji chuckles since looks like he got the wrong place. Looks like he got what he deserves of it. Shinji said. Hey Shinji, he sees Mina and Sue going up to him. Hey, Mina, Sue. Shinji smiled at them. Ribbit, so how was your time with Until Lady? Sue asked. It was good, my Netta got the short end of the stick by doing chores. Shinji chuckles at the memory. So what did you do with her? Mina asked. We went on patrol and did take some criminals down. Shinji said. That's cool, I heard that she even helped stop staying. Mina said. Yeah. Shinji smiles, he knows the truth but he let her have the glory. It was good that she was able to stop them. Momo goes up to them. Yeah. Shinji then sees Izuku and Tenya together. They were still thinking about staying and it must be hard for Tenya, but he said he'll become a great hero. Later All Might took them to an area for a test. Everyone was wearing their hero costumes except for Tenya, and Shinji was in Kabuto rider form. I am here. I hope you're ready to return to our lessons. Today is Hero Basic Training. I haven't seen you in a while, welcome back. Now then listen carefully what's in store. We're going to be conducting a little race. Take everything you've learned from your internships and apply it to this rescue training. If it's rescue training then shouldn't we be in the USJ instead? Tenya said. That facility specializes in disasters. As I said earlier, this is a race, so prepare. You're about to step in Field Gamma. Inside is an area full of factories that form an intricate labyrinth, so good luck finding your way around. You'll be competing in groups. Each person starts from a different location on the outskirts of the model city. I'll send a distress signal and you do what you must to rescue me. Whoever finds me first wins. I see. Kabuto said. But the real question is... Kaminari said. Then everyone looks at Kabuto, who's going to face him. Hey, why are you all looking at me? Yeah, I'm fast, but you can be fast too if you try. Kabuto said. Whatever you say, Speedy. Siro said. Later the first group had Siro, Tenya, Mina, Izuku and Ojiro. Izuku showed off their skills by jumping around the buildings. They were amazed while Kabuto was impressed. Impressive, he was able to control his power. Kabuto said. Did you expect this, Shinji? Momo asked. Yes, Izuku has been getting better the more times I saw him. If you notice, he's been getting hurt less and less, so with the proper hero he could be able to control it. Only problem, they then saw Izuku trip and fall down. He needs to see where he's going. Oh. Momo said. Siro then won the race while the rest got a bit sad. Then it was Kabuto, Momo, Bakugo, Kaminari and Sue. They then got the signal and moved, but Kabuto taps his belt. Clock up. Clock up! He then runs around the area hole they were stopped. Then he finds All Might and he looks at Kabuto and nods. Clock over. And it's over. All Might said with the rest stopped in their places in shock. What? Bakugo said with his hands exploding. Well, what did you expect? Shinji's the fastest of our class. Kirishima said. Yeah. Siro said. Later the guys were in the locker room with Shinji out of his rider form. He was fixing his uniform and Kirishima said, Man Shinji, you're like really fast, we didn't even see you move. It's nothing, All Might saw me. Shinji said. Yeah, but he's the #1 hero, so how fast are you? Kirishima asked. Hey yeah, how fast are you? Sato said. They all look at him and he said, oh it's nothing, the speed of light. He said that in a low voice. What? How are you that fast? They all said. Hey, the suit was made to go really fast. If All Might can see me then it's not impossible, you just need a better reaction speed. Shinji said. Izuku hears his words and thinks about it. Reacting to the speed of others could help him. If All Might can react to Shinji's speed then maybe he could do the same too. Hey, the previous generations has given us a gift. Mineta said, and they saw him next to a hole that was covered by a poster. You know what's next door, right? It leads to the girls' locker room. Don't even think about it. Tenya said. Just try to stop me. Mineta then peeks to the hole. I'll be able to see Momo's body, Sue's big chest. Quiet. Shinji then strikes him in the neck, knocking Mineta out. Wow, you know martial arts. Ojiro said. Yes, it's something I picked up just in case. Looks like it's really useful for both hero work and stopping perverts. He then knocks on the walls. Did you hear that? Yes, thank you Shinji. Kyoka said on the other side. With the girls, Tsu said, it's good that Shinji was there to stop him. Yes, we should close it. Momo said. Let me help with a temporary one. Shinji then puts a pencil in the hole. There, if he tries it again, just push the pencil to his eye. Thank you, the girls said. Man, the girls really like you. Kaminari said. I'm just being a gentleman, so looks like nice guys do get good things. Shinji then drags Mineta. Before he wakes up, he then opens a locker and puts him inside, then closes the door. If he wakes up, give him a few minutes to regret what he did. Man, that's harsh. Siro said. No, but the owner of that locker swings the other way. Shinji said, making them a little surprised. What was inside? Kirishima asked. Then Mineta screamed. A bodybuilder poster. Shinji said, making some of them green in disgust. Who was the locker? Siro said. I don't know, it must be a past class that they forget to empty it completely. Shinji said. Well, we don't use that one. Kaminari said. Yes. Shinji then exits the place. He then sees Mei there waving at him. Hey there. Oh hello Mei, how are you doing? Shinji asked. I have been really good. With my little partner I have been able to do stuff I couldn't normally do. Also I made those suits that you wanted. Mei said. Oh really? Shinji said. Yeah, and remember that bike you showed me. Mei said. What the Kabuto extender? Shinji said. He found the bike later and was able to get it in a garage, but then when Mei saw it she got stars in her eyes. That's right, she then grabs his hand and they went outside of school, presenting. She then shows a Verizon of hers that has a ladybug pattern and one on the front, the lady speeder. You made your own bike. Shinji got surprised and he sees his next to her. That's right, so wanna test it out. Mei said. Fine. Shinji sighs and they got on there driving around. Next day they were back in class with Aizawa there and he said, well, it's time for summer vacation, don't get too excited, we can't just relax an entire month. They got worried. You'll be training, while you're camping in the woods. That made them excited. A big sleepover. Mina said. Fireworks. Sue said. S'mores. Tenya said. Shinji was reading a book and looks outside the window, maybe a special moment. That catches Momo's attention and she looks down with a blush. Could he mean love? However, those of you that don't pass the final exam before the semester is over will have summer school. Aizawa said. Everyone do your best. Kirishima said. Alright. Shinji said. When class was over Shinji was outside and Momo goes up to him. Shinji wait, he then looks at her. I heard what you said, what do you mean by a special moment? Well, many times in camps you have like the perfect moment to find that special someone. Shinji said. Oh, is that something you're interested? Momo asked a little nervous. Maybe, but who is she I don't know yet. He smiles and walks away leaving her blushing. Shinji returned back home and was now studying with Karakishu next to him, so a big test. Yes, it will decide if we go to summer school or go camping. Shinji said. Well, it will be good to go in the woods, she said. You want to go? He smiles at her. Of course. Karakishu said. Well then I'll just have to do more than 100%. Shinji said and she smiles. To be continued.